Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Divine Feminine Rebirth Show. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and I'm here with my two soul sisters. And tonight we're going to have a very special guest, so stay tuned. We're very excited to welcome this lovely guest. First of all, let me welcome my co-host. Hi, Sophie. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here tonight, especially with this special guest. So yeah, hi everyone.
Hi, and I see the lovely Kristen also in the chat. Hi, beautiful Kristen. So nice to see you. Hi to everybody watching. We're very excited to have you as part of this live. And hi, Elena. How are you doing today?
Hi, Julie. Hi, Sophie. Hello, everybody. I'm doing well. Very, very excited about tonight's show. Yeah, very happy about the special guest as well.
Me too. So tonight, our plan for tonight's show is to talk about, first of all, Atlantis, because I know we've been getting a lot of interesting messages for the energies right now regarding Atlantis, regarding this kind of mirroring energy that we're experiencing right now with the eclipse portal, and also especially let's say important for this community because we just learned that we have probably incarnated all together in Atlantis. So we're going to be talking about that with our special guest. And also the other topic for tonight's show is energetic upgrades. So we're all being very much upgraded energetically. And as I'm saying that, I see 4 on the screen. I've been seeing 4 everywhere lately. So I think it's a good sign that we're on the right path. So that's going to be our show. I believe it's going to be a very special one. So stay tuned until the end. And just before we welcome our special guest, I'd like to know, Sophie, how have you been doing with the energies so far? We're coming towards the end of Pisces season, getting ready for the equinox very soon. How are you doing?
I think the end of Pisces season is more strong than I would say the middle of the season. So maybe in the beginning and the end, we are releasing the most. So if you feel like you have done a step back in your energy and you feel like you are being worse, and let's say last week, I think it's normal for me at the very least. It is the case where I'm feeling like I have my throat hurting and I feel like I'm purging a lot physically, emotionally too. And you just have to accept it. And I just have to basically do as the Pisces, go with the flow and accept the release. But it's not easy in this world where we are valued as our productivity. So it's just a constant reminder that we are not the productivity. We are not a slave to the system. We are a human being with ups and downs, and we have seasons that we have to connect with. So this is basically what I try to remind myself.
This is such a beautiful message, and I tried to remind me of that as well. And I have to say, yesterday I had like the lowest energy level ever. So I was trying to not feel guilty for not being as productive as usual. And I still struggle with that concept being a Virgo. So I love your message that you just shared right there. I feel like I'm going to listen to it again and try to sync a little bit more. Hi, Elena. How are you doing?
Hi. Good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have been sleeping more, this is good news. Still waking up very early, but I feel like my energy is a bit high, and I've been working with my candles. Thank you so much, everybody, for the orders. And if ever I'm feeling down or something, like I'm not touching my candles, I'm taking the time to bring some energy from the outside, take some air, go like really like take the time to walk outside. But yeah, really taking care of myself, preparing myself for this activation that we're going to have in 2 weeks. So very excited about that as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a major turn point energetically also. This Friday that we're doing the activation, the preparation for the activation, but also preparing for the eclipse season, of course. And thank you so much, beautiful Kristen. She says, I try to catch the best girl when I can. Aw, we love you. I see you very soon, beautiful Kristen. And without further ado, I think we're going to welcome our very special guest for tonight. So yeah, let's just let me welcome our special guest. Here she is. Hey, Soul, how are you?
Hi, girls. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy for you to be back and for us to be able to collaborate. I have so many questions for Soul for you tonight. We have been doing the shows, the three of us, and I feel like your perspective adds just so much to the information that we're sharing. We are so happy to be the witches are reunited again.
I kept hearing backstage, I kept feeling it. And I was literally, thinking exactly the same thing. And I can see all the love in the chat. I just want to say thank you so much to you girls and to all my beautiful soul family in the chat. I really, I'm feeling the love, and this just feels so beautiful to be amongst all this divine feminine energy. It just feels like home.
Oh, it does feel like home too. And I feel like I don't know how to put this into words, but I feel like we feel even stronger with your energy. Like you are wrapping us up in your angel wings. So thank you for being here. Before going too far into the conversation, because I know I'm getting excited about this, but can you please share a little bit of the personal transition that you are into, and maybe explain a little bit for the people that don't really understand what's going on right now?
Yeah, and I'm sure they actually will understand it as well, having like read my birth chart and everything too. So I'm quite like a sensitive soul, and I just realized the play on words. Um, so for me, it really, throughout my life, I've struggled to kind of speak up for myself and to find my voice. And I feel sometimes that, like, I've always kind of been more that people pleasing type, and that, whereas I really see like such a change and a transition within my own energy. And I don't know if it's something else like within my chart. I know Julie has read my solar return, and I can see like where I am now compared to like where I'm going. I'm just going to become more and more centered in my power, my strength. And I love it because it's a feminine energy. And we don't often think of that as powerful, but sometimes there can be softness and power at the same time. So I really feel that I've gone through, I guess, over my whole 43 years, lots of lessons around setting boundaries, and especially, in relationships, and, not just sort of being that people pleaser type. So for me, there's been such a huge transition and change into doing what's right in my heart, really kind of like being in alignment with what spirit is telling me, but then having the confidence to go forward with it. So I feel that I'm really birthing this whole new version of myself where I can speak my truth, my heart. I really just feel that it's to be in this authenticity and to be aligned with others that are in this same energy. So yeah, for me, my heart was always, in this space with you girls, and, why not only what we bring to our clients, but the energy that we bring to the shows too, because I really want to speak this message of my heart and my truth. But yeah, in the physical human aspect, which is kind of like the fine print of our soul contract, it has been hard sometimes on the human level to stand up for myself, or to, not be in that place of everyone has, just because we have good heart intentions, and that it doesn't mean that everyone thinks or acts that same way. So for me, it really is, okay, I feel like I'm ticking off the humanness of this experience down here on earth, and needing to be like a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, but still keep my softness. So yeah, I feel that's the huge transformation that I've gone through over the last probably year, I would say. Maybe, it's been creeping in for like the last 2 years, but definitely like within this year especially, it's fast tracked. I don't know if you girls have felt the same, like coming into your voice and your strength and your power.
Oh yeah. We could talk about it for hours. Definitely. And I want to say, like, the first time I met you in person, and I'm going to ask the girls also for their impressions, but I felt like such a high frequency, angelic type of frequency coming from you, Soul. And my initial reaction is like, I wanted like to protect you from like the outside world, which I know like is so harsh, because when you have such like a pure heart and a pure vibration, I feel like it's so difficult to go about the world and incarnate here, on the 3D plane. So like I remember asking you, like, do you feel like sometimes people take advantage of your kindness and your heart, and you're like, yeah, all the time? So
I'm gonna cry.
uh,
Yeah, it is, because I feel like I'm really, I'm starting to master this, and I'm starting to realize that,
yeah,
it is okay to be tough and
yeah.
to, stand up for yourself and things. And yeah, thank you. And I feel that from you girls. Like, I feel that, beautiful, like, sheltering of protection and things. And yeah, which enables me to do the job that I've come here to do, even more strongly.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I resonate with you so much about like how it is part of the spiritual, but also human experience to also have stronger boundaries and also affirm yourself and be a little bit tougher, which is, like when you're like a star seed coming from different, let's say a higher density, and you're not really accustomed to having to put your foot on the ground necessarily, you assume that everybody's like super pure in their intentions, and it really hurts when you have to discover that no, you have to be a bit tougher sometimes, because it's the way, well, I guess it's part of the incarnation lessons that we're here for, right? I want to ask, first of all, Elena, because we've met a couple of times for the staff retreats. What was your first impression of Sol, and how did you feel about her?
Well, first of all, I had the honor to travel with you, Sol, when we were like in the car. We had so many beautiful discussions together, and I felt like it was just normal. Like, we met a week ago, and it was just like a connection that I really felt comfortable with you. I was able to tell you everything, and I felt like you knew everything about me, and really feel like in your eyes that connection, when you see someone and you're like, okay, we know each other, like it's been a long time. So I'm wondering, from where do we know each other? That's the
Uh-huh.
question that I'm curious to know.
Yeah, well, on that front, let me ask Sophie. Sophie, could you maybe pull some cards on um, why did we have to reunite together? Like, what is, let's say, the goal of this reunion? Why were we led and guided to collaborate again, the four of us together?
That's a very good question. Let's see. It says that we are meant to be in a place of independence, and we are meant to be glowing our own voice with our own voice or with our own messages. But we need each other to be able to be doing this, also to be authentic to ourselves. So we came back because each of us have different gifts, and each of us in our authenticity has a different message. And alone, we would not have the same protection, we would not have the same reach, and we have each of us different things that we need for the world to hear. And this is why we have to come back together in this incarnation to work together. It's that otherwise we would not have been heard. And we need to share also the support and the love with each other. So there is something that if we were doing this, all of us, all alone, on each of us in a corner, each of us, it would not have been the same. We cannot have the same support system. We cannot have the same love going through, and it's still getting the message out. It's still our own gift, good, but there is something missing. It's the community, it's the love, it's the support, everything would not be complete. And we came here again for the ending. So this card says release, accepting, and welcoming. We are welcoming of each other, and we have to release a lot of karma together. And we have to release also a kind of an ending of a big chapter of the world together. So we talked about this with Atlantis last week. And I think we are reunited again to let go of karma together and to accept each other and to welcome each other back.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so powerful. And I just saw a comment and I'm like, John is saying the power of four. And I've been seeing four everywhere for the past weeks. You too, Sol?
Yeah. 444.
Oh, and now we're 4, so it makes a lot of sense now. Thank you, John, for that comment. And Jake is saying here, the snake, divine feminine healing energy that was on your hermit card, Sophie. I want to ask you, Sol, because I know when we spoke together, and when I did my announcement video that I was going on my own, following my initial vision for Maison Jupiter, I talked about like feeling guided to hold space for the divine feminine energy even more. And I know this is kind of the direction that you were also wanting to take for yourself. So can you share a little bit about like how you resonated with this frequency and this purpose?
Yeah. So part of it for me, I guess, being over here in Australia as well, and being connected to some of the sacred sites we have here, and with some of the beautiful elders, and some of the female elders and even the male elders have talked about that there's a time that we're coming back into. So let me just grab like a little visual demonstration. So what they talk about is that, I guess thousands of years ago, men wanted to have the magic, or wanted to sort of have the same kind of power that women have. But because we are portals for the universe, and meaning very directly, that we birth these souls and spirits into the physical realm or reality, women in original culture had always seemed to have some kind of like magic, or like this true supernatural kind of essence to them. And the men, I guess, wanted to try that out. And so the women, is what they say, is were handed the magic over to the men. But the women are saying that now we're in this epoch, or this time of where the magic is being handed back. And so it's actually about the females stepping forward and using their voice. And they give the representation of a fire, and they talk about that the women will now be the ones sitting around the fire making the decision. And because they're doing it for the collective, and they're doing it with this divine feminine energy that has the good of everyone at heart. And they said men can still join, they can still be part of the tribe, and sit with the women, or sit just behind and put their opinion forward and make the decision. But it's the true essence of the magic, and it's this epoch, or this stage, that we're stepping back into our voice and our power. So I think we're just starting to see this divine feminine energy. So really, my heart just like resonated when I saw that announcement speech. And I had a lot of tears and things, feeling the emotion that came through that, and the authenticity. And I really felt that within my heart quite deeply, that I felt this stirring, that was also part of what I was supposed to be part of too.
Wow, thank you so much, Sol. Because like when I published this video, I wasn't sure at all like if I was doing the right thing. I was with Elena, and we were going on a trip, so I posted it right before going into the plane, because I wanted to kind of leave the past behind and step into a whole new chapter. But while I was like on the plane, I was just like terrorized. Like I was like, did I do the right thing? And I was like crying, and then I was like, well, we don't have Wi-Fi, so you're gonna be okay, I'm sure. And when we landed, we looked at all the comments, and I was just like, I felt so much confirmation into my feeling from all of you guys, from the community. So, and Sol reached out, Kristen reached out, a lot of people reached out, and kind of validated the feeling that I was having like so deeply. So I want to thank you all for supporting me on this journey, and all of the girls, of course. And thank you, Jenny. She's saying, don't forget to hit the like if you love this content. Yes, thank you so much. I always forget to talk about it, but that's really what helps us into reaching as much people as we can with the algorithms on YouTube and Rumble. So please take a few seconds to hit the like. It really helps us. On our Maison Jupiter YouTube channel, if you're not subscribed already, we welcome you to do so and join the community over here on Maison Jupiter on Rumble. I said YouTube, and then on Rumble we have our new channel as well. So this is our very new Maison Jupiter Rumble channel. So please also give us a rant over here, or a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the platform. We really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And okay, I wanted to, and before we talk about, I wanted to enter the subject of Atlantis, which I think is going to be huge because Sol, I know you have a lot of knowledge about so many different things, so many civilizations. So I'm really excited to ask you questions. Just before we do so, I just wanted to remind everybody here that we still have 24 hours left for the promotion. That's 25% off on the activation. So it's a total of 2 activations for the Libra full moon eclipse. So the preparation is going to be live this Friday, and the promotion is going to be until March 14th, so Thursday at midnight. So if you'd like to join us, you still have a little bit over 24 hours to take advantage of the promotion. And we're going to be doing the preparation, and you can also watch a replay, of course, to get ready for the big full moon eclipse activation that's going to be on March 25th. Okay, now that I said that, Atlantis. So Sophie, can you please remind us, when we did the Unbound show, what you were getting for this community, the importance of the eclipse portal for this community who seem to have been reunited in Atlantis? Can you remind everybody who did not see maybe the show what you were getting?
I will try to. When I'm reading, sometimes I forget about what I said. If I miss any important steps, you will help me, Julie, I'm sure. But from what I remember, it was really meaningful, because if you haven't watched the show, by the way, go back and watch it. It's really worth it. What I had in the cards, if I remember correctly, was that what you're about to do, you and Elena, with this powerful meditation, it's something that is linked with Atlantis. We are coming back circle again with what happened with Atlantis with this next meditation that you're doing. And there is no mistakes in why you're doing this at the right time, the right place, and all of us together. And the cards were saying that most of you watching, you are part of this meditation because you were also part of the initial ritual that happened in Atlantis. And if you feel it in your bones, it's normally going to be a confirmation through chills or dreams or just an inner knowledge that you were there. And if you feel like you are passionate about Atlantis, this is also a confirmation. I feel that most of us were there in the ritual, and we have to go back to hold space for the divine masculine and also for the divine feminine, because there is a shift of power, like Sorida said also so beautifully. There is a shift happening, and we need to honor and do this shift right. So we need to really hold space the right way and not start the bad way, because we are in the co-creator of the best timeline possible for the future. So this is really important.
Well said. Well said. I think you did a really good recap. And plus, we're going to be live streaming live from a very special portal of energy, a very special vortex in Dominican Republic, which holds a lot of the Atlantean energy also. So I'm having my Larimar, which is a stone from there that's also linked to Atlantis. And before I ask Sol about the link with Atlantis, I just wanted to share a little bit of the astrology with you, because as you were picking up intuitively, Sophie, that when we did that kind of ritual back in Atlantis, all of us together, we were also bridging 2 eras back then. So when we were at the end of Atlantis, we were bridging the age of Virgo going into the age of Leo. So that's why this is when Atlantis fell, going into the age of Leo. And if you look at an astrology chart, you'll see that Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs. So we are mirroring what happened back then with, of course, a totally new frequency and a new chance to choose differently, of course. But yes, so when we had the fall of Atlantis, we were entering the age of Leo. And now we are entering the age of Aquarius, which is the opposing sign. So back then, it was a masculine-led civilization. They were attempting back then, but I don't think with much success, but to balance out also the feminine energy. But I think the masculine energy was prevalent back then, and now we're trying to balance it out in a much more powerful way this time around. It also, the age of Leo also correlates with the construction of pyramid in ancient Egypt. And as I said, yes, Age of Leo and Age of Aquarius are polarity eras. It's kind of a cosmic mirror. And it was about 12,000 years ago, which is half of a precession cycle. So there are important lessons at this time that are linked with what we have experienced back then in Atlantis. And sun, it's a sun era because the sun rules Leo, and we were then in the age of Leo. And our beautiful Sorita is a Leo also. So now we are rediscovering the power of the sun and its effect also on the pineal gland and on awareness. The sun also holds a very important space here and now in the age of Aquarius, because it's the opposing sign. So we need to balance out with the polarity. And interestingly, I wrote that slide like a while ago, so I'm just tapping into old slides, but it says Atlantis attempted to create a world order, and right now they are attempting to create a new world order. So you can see there the karmic repeating pattern that we're trying to move away from. And what is interesting in the polarity between Leo and Aquarius is that we're going from the expression of the individual ego, which is Leo, to the expression of communities, which is Aquarius. And we are bound to be even more in service to the collective, which is Aquarius, and to think outside of our own personal desires, drives, ego. And now we're connecting all together with internet, which is very much Aquarian, in order to be in service to the collective and to bring out the best timeline possible. So I think this is amazing. Sol, I'd like to get your take on what's going on right now, and what do you think is the link between now and Atlantis, in your own opinion?
Yeah, and I just realized I was really drawn to wearing like really Atlantean colors today.
Oh, wow.
Like my amnezite and turquoise, and I had my crystal collar that I've had here, which kind of looks like the earth or the oceans and things too. But yeah, I'm seeing it a lot. It's coming out, we're clearing a lot of past life things to do with Atlantis at the moment. And a lot of it is to do with people that were trying to speak up, and perhaps they didn't feel heard, or they felt betrayed by some of the darker energies that were posing as like false light. So we're seeing a lot of where people are really having to step into power. So it's interesting, sort of that parallel with the divine feminine coming back into, speaking their power, speaking their truth. What I have seen though, that was a little bit surprising just recently, because I'd always seen, to do with Atlantis for like the last 20 something years, crystal grids. And I'd seen where, darkness came in and knocked out some of the grids and things that we were using to energetically open up and keep us connected with the other stargates and places. But what I saw was that these grids, say if we've got the grids here on Earth, there was like star alignment grids as well. So almost like an ethereal energy overlay that was connected to the energy templates of Earth. And so there was also something that when we lost some of the grids on Earth, some of our star nation grids and that were knocked out as well. So it was a lot harder for kind of like the ET communities and that to come in, because the vibration and density of Earth really fell into a much deeper, darker place. So just for, more the ET starseed side, it was much harder for them to come in and be, I'm trying to think of the word. It was almost too energetically heavy or dense for them to really come in like that they would have. But yeah, so I really feel that we're healing a lot of the old karmic things that we perhaps didn't get to finish out. But I do keep seeing in the readings that it's kind of already done energetically. So we have a lot more people awake in this lifetime compared to what we would have, or awake to kind of like the deception. And we're seeing the same path of deception played out over the last 3 or 4 years with the whole, New World Order situation. But yeah, this time it's a different energy of awakening, because we are in that age of Aquarius, like you said, Shirley, with, technology and being able to connect this way. And the vision I've always had with all of us starseeds and those of us, especially here on Mason Jupiter as well, is all these little lights that are coming together like little beacons. And so we're also kind of like little grid systems within our consciousness. So, you know, that aspect and coming into our own power and truth, just like little crystals, you know, we're kind of, I guess, the go-between, or that supernatural human conductor of energy too. So yeah, there's so much, like we could do a whole show just focused on Atlantis, because there's so many different important elements. And I've seen stargates in that period of time. I've seen special stones, and I've seen labyrinths of water, because water really held a lot of significance and held what I call more of like her spiritual consciousness in that time. And she's coming back and communicating and working with us again too. So this is why we're seeing like a lot of messages in water type technology, hydroglyphs with the work Veda Austin's doing, and water literally trying to communicate to us. So exciting times. Yeah.
Exciting indeed. And I'm curious to ask you, Sol, because you're doing readings every day, consultations with a lot of clients from the community, from Maison Jupiter, when we did your launch last year ago. So you're still doing those bookings because you were booked a long time in advance.
It's a very long time.
Yeah, a very long time. I'm curious to know, are like past lives from Atlantis a recurrent subject from your clients, or is it something like you see once in a while, or is it like a very, you know, like popular themes about your readings?
Yeah, and this is why I love, you know, reading for such a beautiful community, because when we talk about these things, some of them may have had visions of past lives. So what I'm giving is a lot of clarification, confirmation, and I'm sure Sophie experiences the same too, like with some of the past life things that come up. But yeah, there's been definitely witch trial themes has been huge in the last, probably, I would say, I think the launch we did was in August. So really strongly for our community, the witch trials has been like a wound that we're letting go of and releasing. And a lot of people feeling to have to hide their gifts. So we're reactivating and we're moving through any psychic blocks or vows and things, or any contracts and agreements or fears about, you know, having the magical bloodlines be extinguished. But we are seeing like a little bit more come up to do with Atlantis. And I have seen that probably over the last, you know, probably 10 years, that Atlantis energy has been rising and coming strongly to clear in preparation for this. And I'm seeing that on a collective level as well as a group level too, because sometimes you'll have groups that have karmic things to clear. What I also see is this is more of a newer frequency that's being cleared in preparation for the solar eclipse and for, I think, the energy going forth for the rest of the year, but a lot of biblical timeline stuff too, to do with higher frequency souls that came in holding their light. And there's a lot of crucifixion type wounds, or, you know, how we talk about with the witches that couldn't be burnt. You know, there's a stoning type energy around throwing stones at people that speak truth, or are representing to be pillars of higher consciousness. So yeah, those three timelines we're shifting huge karma on at the moment.
Wow, I feel like I resonated with all three of them. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna pass the mic to Sophie, because I believe you had a question for Sol regarding Atlantis.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Sol. When we did the show last week, we were talking about Atlantis, and I would like to know if I had an incarnation in Atlantis. I strongly believe that I have some link, but I don't feel the same link as Julie is feeling, or Elena even is feeling with Atlantis. So if you can pull cards on this, what was my role in Atlantis? If I had one, I would love to see.
And just before closing my eyes to shuffle, because I love to do it that way, I see the Empress, and the Empress is all about, she is the queen of all queens, but she has this gorgeous kind of intuitive nature to her, where she sits within a crystalline realm, or kind of like a crystalline temple. Oh my gosh, she just came up again. Right. So we're definitely talking about the Empress. My cards like click together sometimes when Spirit's telling me to stop. So let's have a look and see what else comes up around this. And this is such a heart-based card. So let's have a look to more information as to what was happening for you in Atlantis. The first vision that I had too, I keep seeing like a young girl, and I keep seeing you sort of like as a very sensitive soul. The word adolescence comes to mind and comes to heart. And I keep seeing like adults in that kind of like rushing around busy. And I feel like that you had kind of like this sense of knowing or this sense of awareness of what was taking place, and like very strong premonitions is what I'm also seeing. But I'm seeing in that situation, it was like not perhaps hearing your voice. So, you know, sometimes kids will tell us things, or they'll be like, I had a bad dream, or like there's a bad feeling. I feel like there was a feeling of not being heard, or not sort of seen for like the beautiful intelligence and the wisdom and the light that you held in that time, almost like an overlooked type feeling. But what we see with this too, this beautiful Empress energy, I would say it was like an Empress energy, but in a younger sense. So we see that potential, or we see if we had a little bit more time in that timeline, that you would have been initiated perhaps even into like a priestesshood. And I see that as a divine birthright, but I'm not seeing it get to come into fruition. It's almost like your heart and soul coming in to experience that. But there was like a little bit of a bump. They're just showing me like this kind of energy. So we see here, she has the blue lotus as well. So we know like her heart, she's a visionary. She's able to kind of see beyond the realms. We see here the double phoenix energy. So I do feel this is your lifetime to kind of really step into your power, speak your truth, release anything that you might be feeling around what we just talked about. So I'll just feel into these cards. We've got 6 cards here on my desk as well. So I'll fill into these and we'll see what comes up. So what I am getting is this golden pillar of light in this lifetime. I do actually see like a lot of beautiful kind of angelic presence and energy around you in that lifetime, trying to shelter you from heavier, denser vibrational frequency. And I feel that it was kind of more like I guess we would call it like star family, or like protectors, like your guides and that too. So with this gold energy coming in, it's interesting. I almost feel like there was a knowing that things were not going to end in the way that everyone was hoping. And I really see that you saw that trajectory of things going quite dark. And I'm just hearing the word the fall of Atlantis. So we'll flip these over, and very interesting, because right next to you, we have the Emperor come out. So we see sort of like the energy go more into that masculine energy. What's interesting is, and I feel that some of these reference, like I'm seeing it sort of, that's the past. What we're seeing now is you coming into Princess of Disc energy. And I always see her as adolescent type energy. I call her kind of like that strong, stubborn-willed teenager. Like she's beautiful Aries energy. But we see her as really not listening to what everyone else is trying to program or tell her. So this is actually this lifetime you get to kind of do away with that, what other people are telling you should do, or what like they think is going to happen. And with her, she's got such a strong voice and like a grounded kind of nature. We see the octahedron wand, which is speaking and putting power into what you see, what you believe. We also see here too, the trees grow upside down. So why everyone else is like telling her that the trees are upright, like in my background, she's like, no, the trees are upside down in my reality. And she literally commands reality to shift and change. What's amazing is it leads right into the queen power. So you're literally here to come into this essence, into this truth, this strength of your voice, to literally help create this reality. So with her, she has the flower of life sphere, which we know is kind of a bit of a template in the simulated reality down here, the Merkaba inside of the wand. So you're actually like crafting the template for how things are going to play out within your quantum field, within your aura, and within your vision. You can hear my voice start to go when we've got past life stuff to clear around, you know, speaking our truth or speaking things into activation. What's really cool is we've got the bonus card in the deck, which represents, for me, this is kind of choose your own adventure, but it's also standing in alignment and activating your power. So it really is you holding a vision, holding this energy within success of this unfolding as to the right path. We're going to overcome this world of duality, which is dark against light, evil against good. That dual system is what you're helping us to escape and transcend. And we see the Four of Discs. I see this as the temple. And I just had an interesting reading with a client before around things happening in off-world temples. So whilst we're doing all this work down here, there's other things being done on other stars that are working for this alignment. So perhaps even connecting to that celestial part of yourself. But this is Capricorn and Sun. So we know with Capricorns, they don't turn around to wait for other people to catch up. They have like that strong anchoring of knowing like their mission, their purpose. So yeah, we do see with the water and the moat and the little drawbridge, this is a little bit of also like knowing when to pull your energy back and your boundaries and things like we were talking about before at the start. But yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to go into like looking into what this means now for this lifetime. You know, I really did ask, can we have a look into, you know, this past life? So I really feel like you're overcoming so much of that.
Wow, thank you so much, Sol. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna ask you, Sophie, for your comments. Lorianne is saying Sophie started off as a kitten and now she's a brave lioness. I really love that, Sophie. What did you think? That did what Sol told you resonated with the feeling you were getting?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that I will have to have a full session with you really, really soon, Sarita, because I would love to explore even more of my past life. I know I do it for others, but we cannot get a read, get a good reading for us. No, so I really appreciate you doing this for me. And yes, it resonates a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do a swap and look into, because as you were saying, like it is much harder to do for yourself. So yeah. And we can really work through clearing like a lot of, you know, old karmic things. And there's different techniques from my background in natural medicine and that where we use magnets and all sorts of things to, you know, to really help open up these areas of activation.
And I love how you use your knowledge of off-world in the cards. We read completely different, so it's really, really fascinating to see how you work and how you read and how you interpret those things. You can really see you channeling your cards, and I love it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I just decided to book for all of us with Sol. So today you have three. I was going to say three, but four new bookings because also I offered one for our friend Miley's birthday. So we booked with you. So I'm really happy. And before in the equinox kind of period of time, because I feel like we have to release a lot of those past lifetimes. And I have started a comment that I wanted to share with you. Lisa is saying, my recent reading with Sorita was life-changing, blew me away. And
thank you.
To say that, Lisa, I totally agree with you. I had one last year, which I'm going to share a little bit about in this show. And I think I have re-listened to the recording maybe 3 times as of late. And every time I uncover like new layers and depths of how important it was for me to know all this information at this time to be able to liberate myself from past karma. And so powerful. So you're amazing. And I want to say that if you'd like to book with her, we just have put up a special promo for the equinox because we're feeling guided that we all need to release a lot of things karmically with the eclipses and to enter a brand new chapter, a brand new cycle with less, let's say, karmic obstacles, karmic patterns. I feel like it's the best gift to offer ourselves. So we have put a 20% off discount. This is a very special discount. I don't think we're going to do this another time. And the discount code, if you'd like to book with Sol, is Equinox in one word. Well, yes, obviously. And it will expire on the 4/4, so on April 4th. And that's also available on maisonjupiter.com. Sol, can you explain quickly how do you go about a starseed reading and how do you go about a mystical oracle reading for the people who never booked with you?
Yeah, so I start both sessions with aura drawings, and I'll just grab just one or two just so I can sort of show you what some of them look like. So we have, this is a beautiful one from the other day. So we see here like the energy, and we're see how there's sparkles. So for a lot of the clients at the moment, what I'm seeing like within our community, because I've seen auras my whole life, you know, we would have had like a cloud or a mist type energy, whereas I'm seeing for a lot of people that are anchoring light, and ascension frequencies here on Earth, we're seeing like sparkles activate within the aura. And these are also the auras of people that like babies, children, animals are like magnetically drawn to. So it's always so lovely, you know, we get that confirmation with these clients that have these certain auras too. So yeah, that's just like a little example of one aura recently. So the difference would be in an oracle session, I really work kind of, you know, in that old school oracle sense, in that my clients will sometimes come in with a list of questions, or they'll want to know what spirit really wants them to look into that can help quantum jump them further forward. So sometimes we will look into, you know, multidimensional things that come up. Other times it'll be like love, relationships, career, you know, what is it I could do to kind of be in best or highest alignment with myself. But for the starseed readings, this is where we also look into, I've got a little star map that I've put together of 20 different groups from our local Andromeda galaxy. So we really look into kind of like where your energy or frequency has come through. So this would sometimes be where you've had past lives, say on, you know, Arcturian or Arcturus, or where you've had a past life in Pleiades. But sometimes with some of my clients, it will be where they literally have like the ET genetics. And that is always, you know, such a fun rabbit hole to go down to see where people are from, what kind of gifts and skills that these planetary places have. So say, for example, Aldebaran and Sirius, when that comes up in a session, I know we're definitely looking into people that have had mystic, oracle, medicine man or woman type healer past lives. So it'll tell us a little bit of connection in what they're really bringing through. When we look at it all together as a whole picture, it sort of helps show us like their mission in this lifetime. So that is a lot of fun. But yeah, we're clearing a lot of other stuff too at the moment in terms of anything that might be holding us back. So yeah, lots of release work too, which is, I really notice huge shifts and changes with my clients like after those sessions. So yeah, and you can record it, you know, because there's a lot of information in that hour just coming through.
Yeah, definitely a lot going through. I can confirm. And I just wanted to share
Can I add something right after?
Go ahead.
Just something that I had information clicked from what you just said, because it's like you are talking light language. Sorry, that there's multiple layers, like Julie said.
Yeah.
So I just clicked with something. So right before you started my reading, I said, I don't feel like I did something similar as Julie or Elena. And you explained that so well, saying that I was younger and that in this life, now I have to use my voice. That explains why I was reluctant to put myself on a big screen and to do something public. That's why they gave me that amazing sister that is the true lioness, and that just pulled me, like forced me, like, no, you are going there and you're doing this and you're going to talk this time. It's your time. So it makes sense.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. And I want to say to Sophie, thank you, first of all. But I feel like all four of us, and I feel like probably a big part of the community also, but the four of us have, in this incarnation, have a lot to transcend about lessons about using our own voice. I think it's like the main theme of my astrology chart. And even though sometimes I might look very confident with what I'm doing, like I still have that little voice, which is like, no, don't do it. And when I first started the YouTube, at the very first let's say, period of Maison Jupiter, I was terrorized. Like I had like a really deep feeling that I was going to get killed. And it felt really like an irrational fear. So I kind of pushed forward anyways, but I still had that feeling, which I wasn't able to decipher whether it was like, I don't like it, I don't like to do it, or is it like an irrational fear from past lives? But now that I've met with Soul, that I had readings with Sophie, I know that it comes from past lifetimes of having been persecuted as a witch, as a knowledge bearer, as, you know, a teacher, a priestess. So now I know it correlates with the past lifetimes. But at first I was like, I'm going to be killed. So I'm sure we all are moving through like refinding our own voice at the moment, if that makes sense. And it's not easy, but we're still pushing forward. Yeah, okay. I'll give the mic to Elena because I know she had a question for Soul too. If you're okay, Soul, if your energy level is still good. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I just want to say, I just saw a comment. People are asking where to book with Soul. So it's directly on maisonjupiter.com that you can go. Is it on right now, Julie?
Yes, I'm going to show you guys. So I put like a little image here. So it's on maisonjupiter.com, and you can see it also in the consultation section. You have the starseed reading and the mystical reading. And don't forget to enter Equinox to get 20% off for a limited time. But thank you, Elena, for reminding us.
And when you put the mystical reading, I just changed my name into the Instagram. I think a month ago, I felt like I needed to make a change in my life. And my name is now in the Instagram, Mystica Elena. So I feel like when I'm going to have the booking with you, Soul, so many things you're going to share with me that it's going to make so much sense. But today I really wanted to ask you in regard to my role with the Atlantis. So what was my role and that connection that I had before with the Atlantis?
Yeah. So just even like as soon as you asked the question and I start to touch the cards, I keep seeing a vision of someone holding, it's like a foot in each world or like a cup in each world. So I do feel it was some kind of a shamanic energy. As soon as I start to talk about that, it's interesting because throat chakra starts to come up too. So I think what Julie said before with us girls too, that a lot of us are learning to find our voice and find our strength and power. I think that, yeah. So let's have a look at what the cards say. What I'm actually feeling into is I feel like I'm going into a different time and space. So I feel like you had this ability. I keep seeing it's almost like laying in a bed of the stars is the vision that I have. So I really do feel like a strong kind of shaman energy in that lifetime. Yeah, it's almost like being able to kind of like manipulate physical reality, almost like, the series like Airbender, where you can kind of, move the wind or work with like the elements of water and things. I feel that you had this knowledge or gift, or the elements would kind of dance around you. Like I'm seeing water come and sort of swirl around your hand or energy. So I feel like you really had this extrasensory perception of how to be kind of one with the elements. But I also keep getting this same vision over and over again. It's like this special space. The vision that I'm seeing is like a round circular room that looks a little bit kind of like it's like under earth, like a hollowed out, not really a cave. I feel it's been like carved out that way. So I don't feel it's like a natural space, but I keep seeing a ring of water around the edge of this circle. And I keep seeing almost like you could walk through the wall or walk in and out of reality. So it's like walking through literally like a stone wall, but I keep seeing you kind of like fade out and all of a sudden I'm seeing stars everywhere. So we'll flip the cards over. It's the shaman card and my Queen of Cups. Wow. See how she's into realities as above, so below. You literally like poured into that lifetime, celestial frequencies and energies, and you had this ability to pop in and out of our reality. But I really see this in like a supernatural sense, and I'm just looking at the other cards, flipping them. So you had so many gifts that you would bring back and activations, but I just keep seeing it's like someone who could nature and with the elements. I keep seeing I guess in like medieval or kind of like, the witchy or druidic type lifetimes, we would have communications with the elementals or, with fairies and things. With this, I am seeing that, but I'm literally seeing you communicate to water. You really had some kind of like a special energy relationship dynamic with water. I feel that you were like a protector, and part of your role and mission was to keep her safe, because I feel this sacred goddess spirit energy, and I feel like goosebumps as I'm talking about it. So there was something of kind of like a heart duty that you had around this. And we see the Knight of Cups also coming in from another realm or reality. This peacock represents like another world or like a higher spiritual vibration frequency. And we see that it's Archangel Michael with this heart-based green armor and this Cancerian cup. So it really was to like deliver information, messages, to be kind of that voice that talks between both realms and realities. What I also see is the abundance card. This I feel is more to do with future. So this is sort of talking about past. These are more talking about future. The Three of Cups for me also is, you know, the women toasting and the traditional tarot, which I always see as like the witches are back together or the goddesses are back together. So it definitely feels like you're in the right place, you know, being here with all of us girls too. What we also see is this is Mercury and Cancerian energy. So it is like that mind and intuition working together as one, connect it with that source flow. And I feel throat come up again as we're talking around future. So there's definitely just a little bit to clear around feeling safe to be able to speak these truths, to be able to speak this. But you have a really special connection with water. Like I'm seeing crystals and ceremony and things taking place in regards to the future. I'm really seeing like a lot of energy around needing to communicate with the ocean. And I feel that she actually wants to speak something to you. So that would be like a whole nother, you know, card spread in that to go into. But we see here, this is you actually like bringing, oh, there's a nice little cockatoo just into the background, little messenger. But we see this is Prince of Wands. This is Leo, Phoenix energy. And we see it with the Chariot as well. So you're actually here to kind of bring some fire, even though it was such an element of like water in that lifetime. I feel this is also working on that fire magic. So yeah, I feel like they want just like one clarifier as well from another deck. King of Swords. So there might definitely be some contracts or things to clear out to do with this other lifetime or some other energies that came in that you're karmically like resolving some situations around in order to really fully step back into the shaman power in this lifetime.
Wow. Elena.
Wow. I was able to see myself as you were talking very, very clearly. And it makes so much sense when you're talking about the connection with water. I'm a Scorpio rising, Pisces, and my moon is in Leo.
Oh, wow.
Fire water combination.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, yeah, wow.
And
Wow.
Lorianne is saying, Elena can tell the fires to dim and the waters to splash or to lay low. I love that, the combination of working with water and fire. And I feel like it feels very, very true.
Mm-hmm. And I know so that I feel like you have so many things to like, there's even more to say about all that. Yeah.
I can't wait till we do the session together and we can look into like what gifts and talents you had specifically, what your mission was in that lifetime and how that relates to now. Because when we look into stuff like this that comes up, it's like the oversoul. So this would be us here on Earth. This Atlantean lifetime is still vibrating for you girls so strongly that there's things that Spirit wants to remind us of or to bring us back into connection of actually accessing and fully embracing those powers. So there's a heap.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sister.
I'm very happy to see you again here.
Oh, same.
Definitely. We're so excited. And okay. I'm just kind of guided to share something which I think I've shared before, but since we have like this strong energy right now to try to transcend all the blockages that we've experienced from past lifetimes with our throat chakra. And when I started my spiritual awakening, I started to meditate, and right away, like I could feel a huge block here on my neck, and I felt it physically. I even said it to my therapist, like my physiotherapist back then. I'm like, there's something here. Like I could feel the energy moving up and down my spine when I would meditate, like very strongly, but it would stop right here. I had like a huge block, and I thought like I was expressing myself in my life. I thought I was like a very confident women and with my work. And it's only later in the process that I understood how I had been persecuted, probably hung with the witches trials, and that I still like had a lot of trauma in my throat chakra that I needed to work on in this lifetime, and to use my voice and to make it a career, also to be speaking out, even though it didn't feel really natural to begin with. And also, like, we have the added component of doing shows not in our maternal language, which is also from adding from past lives trauma. It's also like you need to adapt to another language. And my whole chart is like I have Chiron in Gemini, so a lot of runes with my words. I have Mercury retrograde on my ascendant, so I always think a lot, and sometimes like the words don't come out as they should. But I'm kind of learning to go with the flow, and it's okay to, like, let's say, not say the right words. Yeah, I need to take my time, but like the voice that we have and that we've been gifted with are important with this transition. So I think even though it doesn't always feel easy, but I think it's also a big part of our mission. So do you see that often, Sol? Because you've talked about this kind of witch wounding that you've seen a lot with clients. Do you also see like there's a bit like throat chakra cleansing collectively?
Yeah. And being, you know, an empath as well, I find, and I've got an itchy acupuncture point just here on my top lip when you were talking about throat chakra. So sometimes spirit will actually show me to work with certain acupuncture points to help release, or, you know, I'll tap into my kinesiology background as well, and we'll find out what the hidden and trapped emotion is specifically. And when we release it, you find that not only do you not have the blockage anymore, but you also will have some of the gifts and talents and things come back. So definitely, you know, throat chakra has been a really big one for our community, especially the divine feminine. So I think collectively, like if we look at, okay, there must be where we collectively go through, you know, different epochs of time, or, you know, where we're in different chakras. I know that, you know, specific ages we're in, you know, 2 different chakra combinations usually for each year. So some years we might be in like, you know, the third eye and the heart, or other years like the root chakra and throat chakra. So there'll always be different combinations that are coming up. But yeah, so much around throat chakra, witch trials and that just over this last year.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. And also, I need to share something. I've had a past life readings with Sophie a while ago, and I remember she guided me through this lifetime of being a high priestess in Lemuria. And when I was dying, like I died in, I think, kind of an old age, which I don't know if it was natural back then, but like I remember being old. And then she asked my soul, what were you here for? And what are you going to continue on doing with your future lifetimes? And I answered, to serve the source and to help the divine feminine energy. So, which was kind of a shock to me, because like those words came out of my mouth, and I was under hypnosis, but you know, like it's not like you're sleeping, or like you're still conscious of what you're saying when you're under hypnosis. So I was just like, wow, I really said that. So it really kind of made me think, because it took me some time to make that move that I just did, following this guidance. And when I did my reading with Sol, she did my aura drawing, which I found, and that was really cool. And you've explained, Sol, in that aura drawing that you saw a lot of gold and pink energy around my head, kind of moving around in a vortex. And you said usually that's like how you correlate that with like the divine feminine type of energy, Mary Magdalene energy, those people that are here to anchor divine feminine energy, and to work for to balance out this energy. So I thought that was like a really beautiful confirmation of what I've said with my past life reading with Sophie and your reading with Sol. So is this something that you see often, Sol, those kind of colors in the aura?
Yeah. So, and I just want to say as well, it's so interesting because like Sophie and I are so connected, like sisters. We both have the Venus in Cancer. So like I know sometimes when I'm feeling things deeply, she's feeling things deeply. So we have that gorgeous, just kind of knowing of like, how things can feel on a deep level. But we often have our clients, like my clients will be like, oh, I had a reading with Sophie. Oh my gosh, she said the same thing. So, and I know like it goes vice versa. So I always laugh. It just, that's beautiful confirmation for me to have the, what she sees like I see. And I love that. But yeah, some clients will have the golden pink, and some will have even like a very fine ethereal sort of blue energy as well, which I call Christos, or Christ consciousness energy.
Wow.
So it doesn't necessarily mean like with the pink and gold that you have to be like a feminine energy, but it does represent sort of like a higher Christ consciousness template or ascension energy that you're anchoring onto the planet. So sometimes this will reach even further out past our Andromeda galaxy. So it usually does indicate that it's more of like an old soul energy. So sometimes we can pop these people into a group of spiritual people and they can still feel a little bit like the rainbow sheep, or still feel like a little bit different, even in a group of other people that are, in that same sort of genre.
Wow, that's awesome. Like I feel like I want to ask you questions for hours. I'm gonna try to not make it too long, but this is fascinating. Okay, I'd like to ask Sophie a question for the cards, if that's okay with you, Sophie. Can we see what has shifted energetically now that we're reunited, the four of us?
Yes, and I think this energy broke my cat because he has never been here that. And he's purring. I don't know if you hear him, guys, but he is purring intensely. So you broke my cat in a good way. So thank you, guys.
He feels the unconditional love.
I think there's something definitely because he has never been like this ever.
Well, I see some good comments about the frequency. And a while ago, you were breaking soul. So people were like, oh, the frequency is too high. The connection is breaking.
I have that happen. Yeah, I've always affected electronics. So I have to really like reel it back in. Luckily, blenders and things don't blow up now. You have to learn to control it.
So what was your question, Julie?
What has shifted energetically now that we are reunited, the four of us together?
Okay. I'm just going to do the cards and we're going to ask Teddy to help us with this. Let's see. The Knight of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Cups. So what it says basically is what I have shifted. We're going to accelerate the timelines big time, all of us together. What have shifted is that we are now back together. I feel like, Sarita, if you were not with us, there's a part of us as a collective feminine energy that would be missing with this. And we would not have this strength. We would have been strong, of course, but not this really big strength to push. So to push messages and to push this timeline in the best positive timeline that we can have for the future of the collective energy. So with us together, what have shifted is that we are now nurturing is the sisterhood. So this energy has shifted in previously we had a card of singly alone we are really good, gifted, blah blah blah, but yes, but collectively together what we can do is show how if you are protecting others, if you're loving others, if you are encouraging others and not just fighting against others, masculine energy, you are growing even more. So there is no need of jealousy. There is no need of wars. There is no need of competition. We are in the feminine energy of there is a place for everybody because everybody is different. There is this loving and nurturing energy that we can show that it's very high vibration. This is exactly what has shifted, is that because we have left no one out, and we're all together, we can have this strength now all together by nourishing each other, by cherishing each other, and by protecting each other.
Wow, Sol, I want to get your reaction from that reading.
Right. That is amazing. That is so in alignment with what I was feeling as well. It just, yeah, that's a beautiful read, Sophie.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. It feels very right. I have to say, it feels very, very much in alignment. It feels very fated. Elena,
Right.
I'm putting you on the spot. Would you have a question for Soul? Or if you don't think of anything right now, I can come back to you. Just let me know if you're thinking of something.
I have a question for Saul. Are you getting any messages right now from my guides?
Oh,
It's interesting because I didn't feel to pick the cards up, but I noticed just maybe when you were posing the question, I can see like this magenta energy and violet and pink around your crown chakra.
violet and pink, you said.
Okay.
Yeah. And if
That's
I
what I'm
was
hoping.
if I was to draw your aura, like there's beautiful gold, then you have like a wave of pink. But what's interesting is it's almost like a lightning bolt of magenta that's going like right through your crown chakra. So I do feel they're there with you. So even you just like wanting that connection or setting that intention, they're there. I'll just see what comes up in the cards as well. But yeah, it's a beautiful color to see magenta because I don't often get to see that as much in auras too. It's a combination of like heart, crown and third eye. So let's have a look, see what comes up. The words that I'm hearing, it's interesting, the intention and the energy that they're showing, I keep hearing them say already activated, already activated. So I feel like if you've been sort of like wandering around, like when I'll step into my purpose or when I'll step more into kind of like my, like higher timeline and things, I'm actually just hearing them say like already activated. The other vision that I'm having, I keep seeing a tree. And like with this, I keep seeing it's almost like going to a tree. I feel like it's interesting. I'm seeing you touch a tree and then there's a cycle or a spinning of energy that unlocks. So we know like over here and that's one of the cockatoos. It sounds like a pterodactyl. I was going to say over here in our Aboriginal culture as well, there's certain trees that are feminine energy and you'll see the spiral bark on the tree, I think goes around perhaps to the left. I may be wrong, left or right, but usually we see feminine energy go to the left. Anyway, I'm seeing there's something about like a ceremony or ritual for finding like a certain tree. I feel like it's when you go to Dominican and when you go ready for the sound healing as well. There's some kind of message that's going to come through that will give you a further energy activation, but Spirit's showing me it's already unfolded or already happened. So there's an energy exchange from like a druidic, I feel like my words are getting into Mercury retrograde starting to come in already.
Yeah.
I feel that what I'm seeing with this vision of the tree, there's some kind of like exchange or energy or activation that kind of comes within you, but they keep telling me it's already happened. So sometimes within the auric field, I'll see things that have already taken place on an energy level or what in human terms we would call future timeline. It's more on a quantum energy. This tree's already made contact and this energy, I guess, from your guides, and that is just guiding you to make it happen in the physical. So we'll flip them over. And what we see, you have two of the same cards that Sophie had before as well, to do with the Atlantean lifetime. So wow. The first card we have is the Empress. So we do see this is this energy vortex that we're coming into. So we can see she's literally sitting. You can even imagine her sitting like within the womb space of a tree, especially it being like a female tree. So we know that what's interesting with the female trees over here with the bark and that, if you follow the female trees, they lead you to water. So I actually feel it's that Atlantean energy coming back in through the wisdom of the tree. So you're already activated to that. We've just got a little bit of a disconnect. So it's to consciously like go and have that energy infuse back into you in this lifetime, because we see here the water supply has been cut off, or we see Saturn energy come in against Pisces to try and control, constrict. So Queen of Disc, Queen of Cups, my Prince of Cups, which is my shaman energy. And what I see that you're overcoming is any kind of interference. Now, this will sometimes indicate where we get stuck in our own mindset. And so where we were saying that it's already happened, you're dissolving the Eight of Swords before it even comes up. So where we have self-doubt, or where we perhaps like wonder, what will my destiny or future be? this represents a butterfly in a cocoon. So you already have the wings. It's just letting them unfold and realizing there's false imprisonment from our own thoughts or perceptions. Does that make sense too? In communication from guides?
Totally, totally. I just see myself flying, and you're giving me the strain as well to like being able to walk, and like I already had the confidence, and I know that what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be fine. But now, like, I know that I'm doing the right things with you guys, and it to have the strength together, the four of us holding. I can see ourselves like holding hands, holding that energy. I can feel that upgrade with you guys.
Wow, that's awesome. And I have to say, Sol, you're so on point because last time we were in Dominican Republic, I don't recall if it was before we did the singing bowl activation and after, but she was guided to touch a tree that we had in our backyard, and she stayed there for a while and she hugged the tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just this beautiful like energy coming up, not just through like the vortex energy, but it was like you were standing in a cycle. There was like it was like a Taurus field of you being kind of like in this energy. And I saw when you just finished talking about that, Elena, I saw 444 on my screen too.
Oh, that's a beautiful confirmation.
Thank
And
you.
like I saw you, Elena, and it looks so powerful that I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna touch a tree too.
Let me feel that energy.
And Vic is saying the trees are directly involved in anchoring galactic light codes into the earth and our energetic field and energetic field. So yeah, I love that comment because I can see like what you were talking about, Soul, about this. I can't remember how it's called. How do you say that? Like the shape again?
Taurus field.
Taurus field. Okay. Yeah.
And the two colors, it was like
It was so strong in your aura.
So strong. Wow. Awesome. Well, okay. I want to ask Sophie a question because now I feel like big things are happening before we hit the eclipses. We're already very much in the orb of influence of the eclipses, the equinox also. So, and the new astrological year, which begins at the equinox on March 19. So I feel like we're collectively and personally all going through a lot of energetic upgrades, whether you want to call it initiations, changes, energy updates. So I want to ask Sophie, what are you getting when you read for the collective in regards to energetic updates for this period of time? So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so right now it's a lot about closing chapters, finishing karma, and ending big lessons. So that when you say energetic updates, what I'm getting more is that we're finishing with our lessons so we can have the update. So if you haven't done your job yet on some of the lesson you have to work on, it's still to do. And after you get the energetic update, but right now, there's a lot of finishing tasks so we can have this update. It's like we're being called even more, all of us, to just finish things so we can quickly go to the next chapter of your life. It's almost like we're changing reality. And it's like, okay, finish up because this is the old reality and we have nothing to do there, and just go to the new reality quickly because that's where it's going to continue. It feels like we're almost like changing our total reality for everybody. So,
but don't you think that in order to be able to make big changes and release a lot of past karma and let go, those are coming from, let's say, the energetic upgrades, as I call them? Or do you think like there's something that is being thrown at us in order to help us make those changes? You think like something is supporting this process from the outside?
Something is supporting the progress, but I don't think it's for me, the way I see it in the cards and the way I feel it from the energy, it's more pressure is increasing in our life to do the work. And it's more a feeling of whatever motivates you to do the job, that you cannot stick to the same thing. So
like a form of initiation of outside change.
Yeah, so for example, some people in consultation have to move to another area, but they resist change. So what happens is some of them have their house burning to the ground, others have bugs in them, right? So we have that kind of tower moments. For me, I see it as a pressure increasing on you, so you have to do those change. And you are collectively guided to do those change. So if you do it because you feel it and you're connecting and you do the work easily, you're not going to have those big tower moments. It's just going to feel like I had this feeling that, or this dream that I wanted to do this or this, changing jobs, changing my ways of doing stuff, changing my patterns in relationships, changing how I relate to my family, etc., etc. But if you don't do the work, it's just going to be extra pressure on you to do it. It's just not going to be fun.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Thank you, Sophie. And I'm going to ask one last question to our beautiful Sol, because I've been wanting to ask this question for such a long time. Sol, what do you think is happening right now in this moment in time for the people that consider themselves star seeds? Do you think they're being transformed, activated to fully, let's say, embody their mission, or are they going on a new mission? Are they being energetically updated? Like, what's your take on it? If you want to pull cards or just talk from your experience, go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing Spirit's showing me to talk on, and I've sort of spoken just a little bit on this, on some things recently, but what I keep seeing is with the fairies and things that I filmed here just recently, it wasn't even that I was focused on filming fairies, but 3 days before that happened, Spirit said to me that I just kept hearing the words, I do believe in fairies. And it was from a movie like 20 something years ago where these little girls, you know, took photos of fairies in their garden. And this is something that actually happened in the old black and white photo days. I don't know the period of history, but it was the days of, what is it? Theosophy, where they talked about like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and they talked about angels, and the Theosophical Society was like really in its a huge strength back then. Anyway, so I'm just like, okay, well, my guides are telling me to do it. There's nothing bad, or, you know, it feels really good. So I said it out loud, I think maybe 3 times in a row over 3 days. And then just sitting here, I was filming the cockatoos, just eating out of the bird feeder. And I had, oh, there's one right on cue. And then I saw this white thing move towards me. And I thought it was maybe dandelion wish fairy, you know, the seeds, the little pom-pom things. And so I stopped and I'm like, I'm just going to check what it is. And it was a fairy with wings flying towards me, and then 2 others in the trees. So I think for a lot of our star seeds now, those things that we wanted to share with our parents or with, you know, family and the rest of the world when we were young, and we perhaps maybe got told, oh, it's just imagination, or, you know, go back to sleep, like, you know, nothing's really happening. I think we're actually going to come into where we start to be maybe that portal between both worlds. So whether it's that we're filming things, or like me filming UFOs and things, you know, in the backyard, or having them show up and people that might not have seen them might be there. So I think we're going to start to kind of bridge that gap or that veil between worlds. And I know that's a big part of why we're here. A lot of other star seeds are also here to hold ascension energy too, and to, you know, hold that gorgeous golden pink, that divine feminine, like you have in your aura as well, Julie. So yeah, I'll just pick a couple of cards really quickly to see what energy they want to show to communicate, like the feeling I get, and I feel spirit stand all around me with this. The biggest message that they want to bring through right now to the star seeds is you're not alone. So I think a lot of them have felt homesick or felt alone. And I had one card jump out on the floor, which is the Emperor energy too. So this is actually the time to activate, to stand in your power, to remember who you are, and to know that you have kind of like that bird's eye view over multiple kingdoms. So I'll flip these over. Yep, psychic senses are activating. This is a beautiful stargate, this energy. And to me, it represents a fire that can never be extinguished by water. So where you come from, what you bring to earth. It's time to step into this fierce, princess of disc energy, and to hold that belief. So where, our parents when we're younger might have said, well, it's just your imagination, that how we were saying, she's like holding strong, like, no, this stuff is real. This is happening. And we have here where it's going to activate something, but it's actually going to flip the switch on the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of the programming, the governmental control, the dark dream spell, we're going to see where the star seeds are rising to push back against that.
Wow, that's really powerful. Thank you, Sol, for that. And I'm sure a lot of people are resonating. The comments are like really beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for your high frequencies as usual. But tonight is particular. I feel like we have the best comments I've ever seen. Thank you, guys. And I'd like to remind all of you, if you'd like to book with Sol, we have a promotion for the equinox, like around the equinox, if you'd like to get an activation, a reading. So either the starseed reading or the mystical oracle reading, if you have more, let's say, an area of your life you'd like to check with Sol and her amazing psychic gifts. So there's a 20% off until April 4th, the 4/4. So again, the 4s, I've been guided to put that date on. So with discount code Equinox, and that's available on maisonjupiter.com. And also, lastly, what did I want to share with you? Yes, we still have a little over 24 hours to with the discount code Eclipse. If you'd like to register to the Libra full moon eclipse activation on March 25th, that's going to be streaming live from this amazing vortex in Dominican Republic. We're going to work on balancing the polarities, the divine feminine, the divine masculine within us, and also releasing a lot of karmic patterns, karmic relationships that no longer serve us. So we're going to do a big purge right in time for the equinox to start this new big powerful chapter. And there's going to be the preparation that we're going to do with Sophie and Elena this Friday. So it's going to be live, and both are going to be live, so March 15th and March 25th, but also both are going to be available on replay if you're not available on this exact date and time. So I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you so much, Sol, for your beautiful readings. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning on with us. And if you have a few seconds before leaving, we do appreciate your likes, and also to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us into growing both channel on Rumble and YouTube. And we're going to put out a lot more interesting shows now that we are reunited with our amazing soul sister Sol. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Sol, for being a part of our show. We're so happy to have you back with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just feel so at home and so loved and supported. And yeah, it feels magical. So thank you to you girls, and thank you to our gorgeous community as well.
Thank you, guys. Sending you much love, and we'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.